Hello, how do I pick stocks to fit my risk level? We are working on Watchlist 2026, and how can you pick your own stocks to create your watchlist for swing trading in 2026. We are using large cap stocks, more precisely upward large cap stocks, and we are going to start with PAG. So we have a long list of those large cap stocks. We are going to use maximum monthly charts. You use maximum monthly chart to see the trend of the overall stocks, and from here, by looking at it, yes, it's uptrending, but I don't know, it seems kind of young of a stock for me. And right now we are tracing the support lines. If I trace this, it's going to go well across it, but it's going to be touching closest candle 6. So we are going to trace this one as well, and I'm not really entirely sure if I want to trade this, but why not? We can try to give it a chance. So when I'm looking at those, for instance, if I want to buy these stocks, I feel like this is just a too low of a support line for it to come back to, and this one, it went below it. So, and I'm not seeing any between these two that I can rely on. So I will color code this one to purple, and I don't know if I want to use purple next year, or if I want to change it to something brighter. I will see if it's a lot more easier to locate compared to this one doing the video, but let's do that. But now, so pretty much what we are trying to do is find the line that we are willing to buy the stocks when they pull back to it and start going up. So the things is, the stocks, when it's moving, the price will draw mountains. So you have like mountain valley. You want to buy at the valley. We are using long upturn and swing trading strategy, and based on that, we are selecting the stocks. So we want to buy at the valley, and we are trying to determine the valley line. And I think this line is, yes, the valley line, but it's just too low of a line for the price to pull back to it. There is a chance, but I just feel like if you are looking at those dotted line, they are years, and I just feel like is quite low. But again, there is a possibility. So from the maximum monthly chart, we can come to daily chart to see if you can see that bottom one. We couldn't see that line here. That's one way to say that that line is still too low. If we cannot see it within our area here, that's one way to say that it's just too low of a line to be a valid line. But keep in mind that there are stocks that will pull back all the way down to that low. So now, do we want to add this to our list? Now let's take a look at it. So the last time it reached the highest peak was in 2023, and that is 2024. We have the price, we have the dates on the x-axis and the price from 0 up on the y-axis. So 2023, and it reached it. Let's see if it reached it again. Yeah, it could have reached in 2024. Excuse me. Okay, so and then for sure it reached it in 2025. Okay, so and then it touched base with this support line. So this support line, let's update a little bit. I don't want to move it like that. Okay, and to trace your support line is going to be passing by the obvious lows. So now that we came back and updated, I just feel like this line is just too short of a line for me to use it as a support line, and this is just too higher up. Clearly is the upside wall of the mountain, and it could just, it's now a valley line there, and this I think it's just a short support line for me to use it as a valley line. But let's take a look at it. It touched base with it from there, it went up and gently pulled back down to where it took its time over a year to pull back to it again and start going up from there, reach a new high there, and then start pulling back. And by just look at it, I'm curious to keep it in there and keep observing it, but I just don't like this short line as a valley line. It just feel like it went sharply up, and there is a good chance that it might decide to pull back to somewhere, but I just feel like this is quite a low for it to come back to. It's an upward, but I just don't like how it is, so we are going to keep it there for now. So I don't know if we have some word for it. BBI is the next one. BBY. So BBY is uptrending as well, because again, if you compare the beginning of the chart to where the price is currently is higher up compared to there, and we can trace our valley line trying to connect. Again, this one is going to go way higher up, so I'm not going to do that. I don't like to really go across it like that, but you want to connect at least two closest points. So this one is going to go like horizontally. If we go from here, it's going to go up, but again, in some way it ended somewhere here, because if I continue it, it's going to go well across it. So in some way it ended somewhere around there. Activated. Let's go all the way. Okay, so this is a valley line, and if we are looking at it, I don't know why year was here, but it has multiple years a touch point with it. So if you are going to buy these stocks, this is going to be the line that we'll buy at. So recently it pulled back below it and start going up from there. So, but again, last time it reached a new high was when, probably 2021 or so, and it has not gone that high yet. So, and frankly, I just don't like those stocks that take so many years to reach a new high. And the reason is, if you end up buying it at the wrong price, it could take you about the same amount of years for the price to go past where you purchase it. So it's important to buy them at the valley line if you can. So last time it touched base with it, at that valley line, it pulled back up. It's even go all the way to the highest peak. It pulled back to it again, and that is something I don't like. But and from there, and the reason why I say I don't like that is it didn't even surpass the previous high here, and 3 years or so, or 2 years or so, it pulled back down again. So with our up to long insurance strategy, buying it and wait to sell it at a next high, you won't sell it until it'll pull back to that support line. You'll have profit in it though, because you'll buy at a price that is lower than that, but you won't have a it won't reach the highest peak, and it start reaching it around all the way to this level before it start surpassing that previous peak here. It took that long before it reached that peak, and from there it went up, pull back to it, so went up, pull back to it. So this is just a note to add it to my list. Because of the strategy we are using, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm not going to put anything there because it's not a bad stocks chart. It's just not well suited for the strategy we are using. So HD. So HD is uptrending. That's Home Depot, if I'm correct. And I traded in the past, but I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I tend to buy at the wrong price, or I tend to buy at a higher price. And let's see if it can work well for our uptrend support line. So if I'm tracing those, let's try this one. This will go too higher up. I don't like that. So let's start it from there. I'm trying to touch base with, it's not too far from this one. If I'm going this way, trying to touch base with the closest support lines that we have. This will be one, this will be one. So if we are going to swing trade Home Depot, we will select this support line to be a support line for us. We will select this one to be a support line for us as well to buy at, because we think this is too low for it to come back to. And we can go to maximum daily chart, and looking at it, it touch base with this support line and start going up from there. So we can keep observing it to see what it's doing. Again, it has so much targetive. So last time it reached a new high was, I don't know, 2022, and then the next time it reached it again was in 2024. 2 years time frame. It took a year and a half. Let's see, it came back to that support line, remained there for a while before it started going up, and it came back to it. So if it's going to repeat this process, came back to it, we can assume that it could well remain around this support line for about a year, the way it did it here, and not rush buying it at all. Wait to see it come back to it again, and when it start going up from there, maybe we can buy. So we are going to keep it and see. So those will be the line that we will want to buy at, around those lines. So let's see if we want to put something there. So we have good chart there, we'll keep it. So Lowe's is the second one. Lowe's currently I purchased it, I have it in our portfolio. We have not sold it yet because again I purchased it at a higher price. We purchased it right there and it pulled back from there. So on a maximum monthly chart, we have our line that we trace. We have this one is quite a higher up, and we have this one but just a short. So if let's see if I can not update this one. Usually I like to connect the closest 2 points, but it's not going to go through it and let's see, we will keep this one as a support line. And if we go to maximum daily chart, we will notice it that okay, so it touched base with it, went up, pulled back, and reached a new high. It pulled back to it again and start going up from there. So at this point, let's see, it didn't linger so much around this support line, so maybe it's not going to come all the way down to it again. It's already on its way up from there. And we'll just keep observing it. I have quite a bit of lines on it that I can clean up, and this will be our next line to buy at when they start going up from there. But I think at this point it's already done. It came back to it and start going up from there. So TSCO is the next one. We will go to maximum monthly chart. That's where you want to trace your support lines. First, see if it's uptrending type of chart and trace your support line. And I'm using a little bit of different strategy to pick my stock for 2026 than I use for 2025, because for 2026 I'm a little bit flexible when it comes to how long it took them to reach the highest price. And I think I recorded videos for the 2025 watch list as well, and this time we are working on 2026 watch list. I like to have a bigger list because I'll be analyzing it during the weekend instead of on a daily basis. So when we are looking at TSCO, we have those lines that we trace and we pick one to be our buying line. And I think a secondary one that could be a possibility will be this one as well. And we can make a dark color just in case it default that one, it might come to this one. So but by looking at it, so it reached a new high here. Let's see, it reached a new high here, good, and a new high here, and so forth. So yeah, it is a keeper, and it pulled back to this line and went up there and start going up from there. So we are going to keep those two lines as where we will want to buy. So when we come back to it, we have what go chart for it. The second one, the next one is ULTA. So ULTA, I'm not sure what I feel, how I feel about this one, but let's trace. And one thing that is a big no-no for me is to have new high in the past that is higher than the current. So right now I'm not seeing that those are higher than this one, and is uptrending, but is quite, when we connect those two lows, it'll go that out. So if we want to go this, it'll go cross it, and I don't want that. So let's see, if we come here, it's going to just be kind of similar to this. So therefore, if we go from here, and it's just going to, those support line just didn't continue, if that makes sense. So let's see, and let's see if we want to move it to somewhere here. Okay, so how many years is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But again, it touched the base with it here, but then when it went up, okay, it went up all the way, it pulled back, went higher up, and then pulled back to it. Okay, and remained there for a while before. So we can use it as a support line. For 2025 though, I won't trade those stocks because again, it just seems kind of young of a stock. 2008 or so, but let's keep in mind that there is a possibility that is going to come back to this line here, and we can go to maximum daily chart. At this point we can only see one of it, so well, it's so jagged. And from here I might even try to update this line by moving it down a little bit. So on the maximum monthly chart you may not see the bottom of those well, but then on a daily chart you can adjust it. I don't even know what to say. It's just too jagged of a thief, and I really don't like to trade those type of stocks. So maybe we might have to do another sweep off of it. That's why I put growth and dip there for the type of stocks it is. I don't even know what I wanted to say to it at this point. Yeah, I'm not sure really. Let's why not, let's put OK for it. So LU, and I think it's okay to leave it blank when we don't really know what to say about it. So LU, let's take a look at it. Do you see where the price is right now? Is lower than the previous highs. I don't even know how I'm going to explain that, but anyway, so yeah, the price is higher up compared to the beginning price of this time frame, but again, it is a no. Why is a no? I can't really trace an uptrend here. It's more like a downtrend. You know, if I'm trying to connect those lows, it's like lower and lower and lower. Does that make sense? It's going to be a downtrend here. It's a downtrend. Here is an uptrend, but I'm having a downtrend here. So I can't really trace an uptrend. I think the thing is, if you can trace an uptrend, but the uptrend, you have to actually be touching your obvious closest lows. So this is going to go there, it's going to end it there. It's going to be ended somewhere here, and the price is below that line, is well below it. Even if I continue it all the way here, so is it going all the way down to here before going up? So if you are going to trade this, you will use this as your support line, nothing between. And therefore I prefer not to trade it. It's like a downward here. So at this point, I think I'll just put what? Let's put no. So the next one is NKE. So NKE, again, I have the same situation here. Is it what NKE is? It's not Nike, is it? Yeah, okay. But anyway, we have the same situation here. I'm having a downtrend here. You just compare the lows. You see, this low is lower than this one, is lower than this one is higher than this, but this is lower than this one. So I'm having a downtrend here for the past few years, 3 years here. Something to consider, maybe in 2020 we have a peak that is not common. Therefore, if we took it out, does before 2020 price is not, is the price is below before 2020. So Akunvin trace pre 2020 and have an uptrend. The uptrend is going to end somewhere here, and then I'll have a downtrend here. So therefore, no, I'm not going to trade it, because if I'm going to trade this, it's going to be possibly around this line, and there is a chance that if you buy this at the wrong price, you'll get stuck in it for years as well. Negative. And we are swing trading, we are not investor. So that's something to keep in mind as well. We are buying the stocks. Of course, there is some investment involved, but you are keeping it for months, few years perhaps, but you are not buying it to keep it forever. So if you are going to buy this to swing trade, it's going to be around this support line. A touch base with it though and start going up from there. So is it going to be the line for it? I just don't like it, because again, that highest price here, it was years ago, 4 years ago. So when is it going to surpass that level? We use the value line and the peak to determine where we want to buy and where we want to sell. And if we cannot see that highest peak, all-time peak, we cannot sell it. Does that make sense? That means we are going to use a different strategy to sell, and we don't want to use a different strategy to sell. For that reason, this is a no. So we are going to end our selection, our watch list 2026 stock selection here for today. So thank you so much for your time. We thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, Cross of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to make money. Thank you for your time. For more of our swing trading tips, will please check the list of the playlist in the video description. Thank you.